Вот давайте поймем, что на самом деле происходит. Да, это очень болезненно. Да, это вскрыло многие проблемы. И очень важно не отмахиваться, но понять, что происходит. Поэтому давайте смотреть и разбираться на уровне понимания, знаний и навыков, присущих вполне конкретным людям. То есть...
And we happen to be these certain people who will happily think about what and how we're talking about things. So yeah, this has been great.
This is the escalation we were promised for the longest time. I think since 1991, Americans were feared from this, which is, and let me quote it again. 1 second. So Russians are going to understand what are you saying, when are you doing, ask yourself what for. This is the harsh reaction of Russian war machine to occupation of Russian territory of a nuclear state by other country.
Yeah, so to all of the Jake Sullivans of the world who were afraid of, nuclear bomb falling on Kyiv. This is, I'm currently in Kyiv, and right now, as of, what time is it? Currently, as of 14:27 of the 22nd of August, it is still okay. The only thing that has been dropped on our heads is the amount of horse shit manufactured by the people we have just shown you. They are trying to calm themselves down as much as possible. It has been, I guess, 2 weeks now of the gradual attack of Ukrainian forces against Russian forces on Russian territory. And yeah, we have decided to kind of make this small, concentrated video about different reactions that this situation has created. Because for years and years and years, actually, I can't believe this, I actually have to say it's been years of war, we've been told, oh, no, we can't give you javelins, it's going to escalate, Russians are going to attack more. No, we can't give you Abrams tanks, we can't give you Tauruses, it's going to be too much. No, we can't give you tanks, we can't give you this, we can't give you F-16s. When they gave us F-16s, I thought for a second, I wonder what's going to be the next thing that's going to, create this problem of escalation. And then Ukrainian fucking military went in the Kursk Oblast in Russia, and I was like, so we could have gotten these jets 2 years ago and nothing would have changed? Zero things would be different?
We could get, imagine in 2022, so you should understand, right now there are more than 600,000 Russian troops on Ukrainian territory, massive war machine. Russian military production increased during these years. In 2022, there were only 200,000 Ukrainian troops outnumbered Russians, and Ukraine could outnumber Russians in munitions, in armor, in missiles, in every way possible, and basically throw Russians out from Ukrainian territory and maybe even reach the 1991 borders, because you can do the math here. But we were not given enough armor, enough ammunition on time, not because United States or France or Germany or United Kingdom didn't have it, no, because they were afraid. They didn't give it to us because they were afraid that
of what we have just shown you. This was the scary monster that Jake Sullivan was peeing his pants about.
This is my favorite part of this clip, forgive me, I hate these people, but I love listening to this so much.
Что не рассчитал Запад? Понимаете, они же мыслят категориями англосаксов. Ни на территорию Британии, ни на территорию Соединенных Штатов Америки враг не вторгался уж точно в 20 веке. Да. И для них само понятие, что кто-то вторгся на нашу землю, уже обозначает, что все, должно что-то произойти, коллапс, мы сейчас все разбежимся. Ну, надо отметить, что практически ни одну большую войну мы не выигрывали без трагического момента входа вражеских войск на нашу землю, в чем нет ничего хорошего. Но объективно говоря, наш народ, к сожалению, нашей исторической памяти от таких крайне неприятных трагических страниц не приходит в истерику.
So
This is the main Putin's mouth. Like this guy just speaks what Putin thinks, what Putin
literally
directs him
mouth
to speak.
of Sauron. Mouth of Sauron. Literally speaks the line of the party.
We were told by, I don't know, Mearsheimers, all the American, I don't know, think tanks, that, you know, this thing, this Russian red lines, we cannot cross them. Otherwise, there will be nuclear apocalypse. We don't want that. We don't want this, that. We should be very careful. And suddenly, what?
Yeah, suddenly that's it. Yeah, well, apart from these idiots and Vladimir Vladimirovich Putin continuing to stress that the special military operation is going according to the plan, please don't look here, nothing is happening, everything is fine. Need I remind you that they actually called this operation a mongoose leap, so like a mongoose jumping somewhere. It's been a hell of a jump that's been lasting for like 3.5 years at this point. But apart from them reacting like complete idiots, which is, I mean, I guess their national custom, we had some other people reacting to this thing, because believe it or not, Ukraine has been very good at learning our lessons, and we have been very good at learning the lessons of what information should be distributed where about certain things that we do. So Ukraine was careful enough not to share any information about this operation beforehand, especially with our Western partners. And so that's, I guess, why it was a success, if you can call it, as of now, a success. But we did have some foreigners and foreign leaders and our partners express their feelings towards this action. And if there are people among our audiences who back in the day thought, well, oh my God, well, you know, the West told Ukrainians not to do it, and they still did it, and now they're going to be so punished by the Western military and the Western governments who are not going to help Ukraine anymore because, you know, they attacked Russian soil. Well, you're going to be sorely disappointed. Because apparently everybody's super fucking chill with everything at this point. It's like, you know, the concept of cool parents, where you're like hiding from your parents and you want like maybe try some drugs, try some alcohol. And these cool parents show up and they go, we would rather you do it in the house than do it, you know, with God knows whom, God knows where. This is literally it. Ukraine decided to put the war on the Russian territory, and everybody was like, cool, this is very nice. We really like this operation. It's been a success so far. And everybody is, I guess, especially, I mean, we just heard Russian talking heads literally saying this was all a plan, and this is how these Anglo-Saxons, whoever they may be, operate. But, I mean, they were also very surprised.
You know, those tribes from...
yeah.
Like 1st century or something. Anyway.
Yeah, so according to Le Monde, Russia was not the only country to have been caught off guard by Ukraine's incursion into its territory. So Kyiv allies have also been taken by surprise. And at some point, US President Joe Biden was asked on 13th of August whether he thought, you know, what he thought about this operation. And he said that he would rather not comment on it publicly. He had been discussing Ukraine with his teams probably every 4 or 5 hours for the last 6 and 5 days back in the day. And he actually said, with a certain amount of satisfaction, it's creating a real dilemma for Putin.
Oh, who could have known? And
Crazy, right?
My favorite part about it is that nobody knew. Ukraine didn't tell anyone, didn't ask anyone, and just did it, which makes it also kind of success, and which proves that one of the problem with the Ukrainian counteroffensive in 2023, which we were really counting on, is that everyone wanted to know Ukraine's plans. Everyone needed to know Ukraine's plans to give Ukraine weapons, apparently. And when everybody knew, Russians knew as well. Russians knew exactly where Ukraine's gonna strike. Russians knew exactly the date Ukraine's gonna strike. And Ukraine even had to postpone the operation because Russians knew essentially everything, right? So yeah, probably if Ukraine asks someone, maybe some people, and we had such, we had recently in Germany, there was a case, one of the guys who was caught selling military secrets to Russia, that he was afraid of nuclear apocalypse. So maybe if someone knew in the West, in Germany or in the United States, in the White House or maybe elsewhere, that Ukraine is going to do this outrageous stuff as occupying Russian land, somebody would tell actually to, I don't know, New York Times or whatever, and
they would tell everyone because they just can't keep their mouths shut ever. Yes.
Yeah, because this nuclear terror, how do you call it? This nuclear fear mongering has its success, and it's one of the biggest, like not one of the, it's the biggest success of Russia in this war, or maybe throughout the last like 15 years. These nuclear threats are working, but they're not real, and they are working, and it's the best, I don't know, the most genius thing Putin has ever did, and it's still working for some reason. And this thing is, I don't know, waning down, right? We are killing it.
And
Ukrainian
if somebody
soldiers.
Yes, and if somebody is saying, well, Biden, he's a politician, he can say whatever, he's an old guy, he's not going to be even president anymore, and he knows that, so why, bother? Well, actually, we had a Pentagon Deputy Press Secretary, Sabrina Singh, at a press briefing on August the 8th, said that Ukraine's ongoing military operation in Russia's Kursk Oblast does not contradict the U.S. escalation management policy. They are taking measures to protect themselves from attacks originating from this region, which aligns with U.S. policy on where they can use their weapons, Singh said. Again, amazingly, surprisingly, nothing fucking happened. Everybody's super chill about everything. And this has been going on for, need to remind you, 2 weeks now, and this has not changed. Furthermore, we had some other people chiming in on the topic. Josep Borrell, again, a partner of Ukraine, Europe has always been very reasonable in terms of, what Ukraine should and shouldn't do. He actually tweeted on August 21st, so not that far off. He said that Ukraine's Kursk offensive is a severe blow to Russian President Putin's narrative. Lifting restrictions on the use of capabilities versus the Russian military involved in aggression against Ukraine in accordance with international law would have several important effects. It's going to strengthen Ukrainian self-defense by ending Russia's sanctuary for its attacks and bombardments of Ukrainian cities and infrastructure. It's going to save lives and reduce destruction in Ukraine. It's going to help advance peace efforts. As I conveyed to Ukrainian Foreign Minister Dmytro Kuleba, the EU fully supports Ukraine's fight against Russian aggression. I look forward to meeting him in Brussels and to a discussion with EU foreign and defense ministers next week to move forward in our support to UA. When I was reading this tweet, when I was preparing for this episode today, I actually thought that I was going to, I look forward to meeting him in Kursk or something, because this is, at least funny. But no, actually everybody, so again, another part of the world, it kind of fits the Russian, the whole Anglo-Saxon narrative bullshit that, they're all together and they're going to, destroy us because this has been their policy. But so far, everybody's super happy.
No, they actually should. They should open the second front, and we should actually meet on some river, like in good old days. There's no reaction, and we just showed that, and it didn't take 145 episodes of Ukrainian Toronto television to tell it. Ukraine had to act and to prove it with its actions that it's not happening. And now we have Russian sources telling Russian media, which we don't trust a lot, but anyway, this is very funny. Officials in Moscow are over the initial shock, trying to spin the ongoing fighting on Russian territory as yet another new normal. Sources close to Putin administration and the government told Medusa all of the officials Medusa spoke to believed the fighting in the Kursk region could continue for several months. However, the authorities are loath to cancel the upcoming gubernatorial elections. One source
Everything is normal. Everything is normal. Nothing weird is happening.
It's totally fine. One source close to the Putin administration pointed to a recent Kremlin commission poll in Russia, which showed that against the backdrop of the incursion, the share of Russians who believe an anxious mood is predominant in their social circles shot up 6 points to 45%. Officials in the Putin administration considered this figure high and hope it will come down quickly. During a shock, and this was certainly a shock, there are always leaps in the polls. Then people get used to it, and everything settles down. One source said cynically. So when we were told that if Russians lose in Ukraine, they will nuke the hell out of the Ukraine, that Putin cannot lose, that Putin needs some kind of conditions to walk away or something like that. Do you remember that in 2022 there was a lot of talk about how Putin needs to save his face, when it appears Putin doesn't actually need saving his face. His face is pretty much fine in Russia, and nothing ever happens. They just don't fucking care.
His face is not fine. His face is not fine. He's been wearing his ballistic headphones wrongly in the Republic of Chechnya, which tells me something is wrong with the face. Nevertheless, nobody gives a shit.
Nobody gives a shit. Nothing ever happens and should not happen. And you could help America. European Union, NATO countries could help Ukraine in 2022 win, and nothing would happen at all. Maybe by now you could just thing which could happen, you could restore relationship with Russia, buy gas or something like that, and come back to normal. Open your Coca-Cola factories and Volkswagen factories in Russia. Do business as usual if you let Ukraine win, but you hope that Ukraine will lose, and you could do that afterwards, and it doesn't happen.
And before we finish with this escalation management issue, I would like to go on a teeny tiny tangent, because while preparing for this episode, I have found something peculiar. And it has to do with the usual offenders, if you will, Lithuania, Germany, and Poland, who all, by the way, support the operation of Ukraine in Russia, namely Lithuanian Minister of Defense. He called the Western response to the Ukrainian armed forces operation in the Kursk region a victory of reason, which is a lot. Lithuanians are actually one of the sane people in Europe who actually saw this thing unfold from the beginning and know what direction it should be. So I was looking into that, and then I found the official Polish Prime Minister reaction that Operation Kursk Oblast is Ukraine's right to self-defense. I mean, again, the usual offender. We never expected anything else from Poland. But then while looking at that, I have found something funny. So remember the entire Nordstream 2 explosion thing? And Germany has been a teeny tiny bit annoyed with the fact that these revelations, they kind of ignited this dispute between the US allies. German authorities accused Poland of letting the suspects of the explosion of Nord Stream 2 go. They said that you shouldn't have let them go. You should have arrested them. You didn't arrest them. It makes you bad people. And also that, Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk, he actually reacted and said that Nord Stream patrons should, quote unquote, keep quiet about that. I mean, Poland has been, again, one of many countries directly influenced by the building and exploitation of our Nord Stream 2 pipeline.
Yeah, because it was going around Poland, so it was not giving Poland anything.
Yeah. So it actually made it worse for Poland because Poland is known for helping bring American gas through LNG terminals to Europe. So, I mean, it's both their economical and security reasons that they had in order to oppose this pipeline. But what happened was in June, Berlin issued an arrest warrant for a suspect in Nord Stream blowing up case who was in Poland at the time. However, Warsaw did not arrest him, and the suspect was able to flee to Ukraine. And this caused outrage in Germany. Polish law enforcement publicly stated that they did not arrest the suspect because their German colleagues did not enter his residential address in the European register, and the German authorities denied this. At the time, Warsaw said the country's internal security service had to look into the matter before arresting the suspect. I mean, makes perfect sense. Then last week, the Polish prosecutor's office informed Germany in a letter that the suspect has left the country. It also discusses whether German law enforcement officers are still interested in their Polish colleagues searching for the suspect's house near Warsaw. The German authorities regarded this letter as an additional insult because Poland did not comply with the arrest warrant. And the kind of best part of that is the Wall Street Journal writes, at a meeting between German and Polish government officials in Warsaw on July 2nd this year, a Polish official allegedly told a German colleague that all potential suspects who could have destroyed the Nord Stream 2 should receive medals instead of being arrested. Polish Prime Minister Donald Tusk said the initiators and patrons of the gas pipelines, presumably referring to Germany, should apologize and shut up. So this is the beginning of a new era. You know how like Taylor Swift is always in her new era, like her every album is a new era? Well, there's a new era in Europe where, you know, Poland, Ukraine, Lithuania are actually showing what it's like to be a leader and what it's like to, making, harsh decisions in order to protect your country. I just love this whole story.
Amazing. Germany could very much fix this because like if you're not doing anything towards your enemies and do not help allies, people like see you as weak. Like, right? Your enemies see you as weak and your allies see you as weak one, right? So, and when everyone sees you as weak one, everyone acts accordingly. Is it correct? Germany could fix it really quick. Germany could help Ukraine with everything it can, and maybe in exchange, Ukraine could send this guy to German prison. I think he won't mind that.
German prison is not that bad. Yeah,
not that bad. Yeah, if in exchange Ukraine gets like lots of tanks and Taurus missiles, which it uses to blow Russian airfields, I think this guy will be fine. Maybe it will be even like pardoned in some near future. Yeah, we could arrange that. Germany. Yeah, that's a great deal. Maybe you'll even win elections if everyone stops thinking you're a weak one.
You start sounding like Donald Trump, Mark. It's a good deal. It's a good deal. It's a grand deal. It's the best deal. It's the best
deal ever. Like in human has ever seen. The likes of this have never seen before. It's a great deal. We send this man to German prison. German sends us Taurus missiles. We win. We obliterate Russia. Everyone's happy. The guy in prison in Germany is happy, and everyone's good. Everyone's good. Yep.
Yeah. So this has been our overview of you see, we're not military experts, so we do not comment on how operation is going, the perspectives. We leave this to the pros. Maybe we will be able to invite someone to give us more of an overview when this all kind of settles down and we can see some clear perspectives. What we do need though is your your comment under this video, your share of this video to your family and friends and to every single online page you have, and that you subscribe to our channel to receive more such high quality, condensed information about escalation management, because I guess at this point we are pros at escalation management.
Yeah. At one point, maybe people. I've already seen American experts talking about escalation management in a weird way. Those people who warned before about nuclear threats of Russia now talking like maybe, perhaps it's not that. It's maybe those two dudes from Ukrainian television who gets much less views and dude and do this. We're right all along. For those 2 long years, they were right and we were wrong. Yeah, this is who we are. Thank you very much. Subscribe.
See you next week.
yeah.